These are the kind of shocking scenes that could lead to facial recognition cameras and drones being used to crack down on soaring football violence. A police watchdog said officers could use the new high-tech approach to stop banned fans and violent thugs from getting into the stands. Craig Naylor, His Majesty's Chief Inspector of Constabulary in Scotland, made the call in his annual report after several pitch invasions at Scottish games. One of the worst scenes unfolded at the Old Firm Scottish Cup quarter-final at Ibrox, where pitch invasions turned into a running battle between rival fans. A scathing report into the mass rally said life-threatening violence was possible until police regained control. Mr Naylor described the disorder on that date as arising from significant failures in planning, communication and matchday safety, branding this deeply concerning. But Mr Naylor, who's held the post since 2022, said new tools could help cops prevent similar scenes from unfolding.
So live facial recognition is another tool that Police Scotland can use to deter violence, to deter people causing trouble at football matches, and to allow them to then investigate incidents that do happen after the event. It's complex, it's difficult, and lots of people don't like it. But the CCTV that is used to gather the images that would be scanned against the live facial recognition is already in place in many places, whether it's in a football stadium, in a public street, or on someone's Ring doorbell. So this is about giving them additional tools to keep people safe when they're attending events or protests or similar things.
Warning of the increasing threat of violence and disorder, he said football clubs themselves, their governing bodies, local authorities and supporter groups must all share responsibility with policing in tackling the problem. He also called for an enhanced risk assessment process to be put in place, along with mandatory multi-agency planning exercises for high-risk matches, strong stewarding arrangements, improved segregation of rival supporters and consistent use of evidence-led sanctions against those involved in violence or disorder, adding that there must also be increased accountability for any supporters groups whose actions create significant operational risks and costs. Mr Naylor called for a stronger regime of sanctions against both individuals and clubs to be developed by football's governing bodies. He said the scenes witnessed, including pitch incursions, assaults, the use of pyrotechnics and threats to public safety, were unacceptable and caused injuries to those involved, a situation that cannot continue to be tolerated.
This was a real terrible day for Scottish football, and it was followed up with the Celtic Hearts end of season game. The bit for me is, how do we get to a point where the vast majority of safe attendance of people at football matches is the norm rather than the exception as we're now seeing it. So we need to give policing and clubs and governing bodies more tools to allow them to keep people safe and to allow the vast majority of people who want to go and watch the game to do that in a safe environment.
Police Scotland Assistant Chief Constable Tim Mayers said the force has a duty to use new technologies to safeguard our communities. He added new technologies can offer transformative opportunities for modern policing through supporting investigations and identification. We want people to recognise both the value of new technologies and to be confident that Police Scotland has the right governance and the right measures in place, and the consideration and implementation of new technologies reflects our commitment to human rights, ethical oversight and transparency. He said the force's consideration of live facial recognition continues, saying Police Scotland is considering next steps following on from responses to our consultation on the biometric strategy published earlier this month, which highlighted both public support for and the need for assurance, governance and scrutiny around our potential use of new technologies. And Scottish First Minister John Swinney previously vowed to tackle Old Firm violence.
There was severe danger applied to fans and to police officers and to stewards. It was completely unacceptable in every respect. So what I want to make clear is the police have my full support in pursuing everyone involved in this incident. Also that we will work constructively with the clubs, who must be horrified by the scenes that they witnessed as well, to address this situation, to work with the Scottish Football Association to make sure that collaboratively and collectively we do all that we can to make sure that these type of incidents have no place in Scottish football.
But a Scottish Government spokesperson said any deployment of new technology would be an operational matter for the Chief Constable under the scrutiny of the Scottish Police Authority, provided it complies with data protection laws, the European Convention on Human Rights and the Scottish Biometrics Commissioner's Statutory Code of Practice. But a human rights group chief blasted the idea of cops using the tech to spy on football fans. Scotland Programme Director at Amnesty International UK, Neil Cowan, discouraged the National Police Force from rolling live facial recognition technology out to address football-related violence. He said facial recognition technology is a dangerous and discriminatory tool of surveillance that should be scrapped and not rolled out further across the UK. The Home Office's data shows that where FRT is currently used in England and Wales, it is significantly less accurate in scanning the faces of people of colour, and in England it has led to repeated cases of harassment and false arrest. Police Scotland is currently considering whether to roll out this technology of mass surveillance, which is extremely concerning. To move forward with FRT could bring about a historic shift in the relationship between the police and the public in Scotland, and we want to see its use rolled out.